and a very good morning to everyone. I hope everyone had a good rest, a good breakfast, and a good 1.5 day enrichment of learning new things, hopefully, over the past weekend. So now we are at the supposed to be the conclusion of the workshop, the seminar or the workshop. This morning we have a forum on the role of Islam in advancing democracy and human rights in Muslim societies. I think this kind of resonated with me in one of Dr. Chandra Muzaffar's point on Sunday on the gap of a champion of human rights, which is currently voided by left vacated by Americans. Even that also we can contest whether they are really championing human rights. So, but that's a separate battle. But more importantly, the role, the proponent or the champion of human rights is missing in action in the world stage. So I guess this kind of ties nicely with what we, the Muslim community, Muslim leaders in general, think what Islam can do when it comes to advancing democracy and human rights. So I think that this is kind of a good way to weave into today's session. So without further ado, I think yes. So without further ado, I will invite the panelists to be at the front. To have today Dr. Faisal Musa, Dr. Najib Buhani, and Dr. Azhar Ibrahim. No, sorry. Sorry about it. Just being mischievous. On a Monday morning. The Monday blues don't extend to work; they extend to other things. So, without further ado, I will invite Dr. Farooq.
Basically, we're going to talk about this interesting topic today about the role of Islam in advancing democracy and human rights in Muslim society. Some people might think that, it's kind of a difficult topic because the idea of democracy and human rights, some people thought that, this Islam in itself is not compatible with democracy and is basically not advancing any human rights values in the 21st century, which I think the panelists will discuss more about it. But I would like to start this by saying about this problem about relationship between Islam and democracy. The thing is that this whole idea about Islam and democracy has been debated again and again. Even last night, we debated about the whole idea of Islam and democracy, and someone came up with the idea that probably democracy, would lead to the tyranny of the majority and things like that. So, this whole idea, I think that, and of course some Muslim groups think and believe that it is more of Western concept being imposed upon Muslim society as a whole, at large. So, and the thing is that they are arguing that the concept of this democracy or popular sovereignty is basically, it denies the fundamental Islamic affirmation of this Tawheed, of the sovereignty of God, and in a way, like what Hizb ut-Tahrir used to say, that it is a form of idolatry. Yeah. And however, there are many other Muslim professionals and intellectuals who believe that these two are compatible, and they thought that probably Islam itself has laid a raw concept of what democracy is about. وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَى بَيْنَهُم, for example. And in matters among them, they had a kind of shura, yeah, the kind of discussion, democratic way of trying to solve the issues within them. And this is a known concept. Even though in Quran you could not find the idea of the entire true concept of what democracy is all about, but the term shura itself was there. So according to some Muslim scholars like Banushi himself, he believes that, like this idea is there. So he says, if by democracy is meant the liberal model of government prevailing in the West, a system under which the people freely choose their representatives and leaders, in which there is an alternation of power as well as all freedoms and human rights for the public, then Muslims will find nothing in their religion to oppose democracy, and it is not in their interest to do so. So he was very pro-democracy, and you know that his movement and Nahda has been at the forefront in trying during the Arab Spring to promote this form of government in Tunisia. And because of that, I personally think that, despite the wave of Arab Spring in many Arab countries, probably the only successful Arab Spring was in Tunisia, yeah, because we have a leader like Rashid Ghannouchi over there, as compared to many other parts of the world, of the Arab world. So, and if we look at this idea of sovereignty of God, if we read the book by Nadir Hashimi, which Arif has translated by husband Mahrum, he talked about this idea of sovereignty of God in basically this line, a vertical versus horizontal line. The vertical line is between man and God, and horizontal line between man and man. So he says that, the point of friction is when these two lines meet, between the vertical and the horizontal line, and that the problem lies when we are trying to, what he says as trying to collapse this vertical line and, and try to get into this whole idea of values between him and God to basically to get into the interrelationship between mankind. So meaning to say that these kind of ideas would pose a major danger to minorities such as Shiites, Ahmadis, Baha'is, and so on and so forth. And I think this is a thing that we are going to discuss today. And the idea of human rights, like what Dr. Najib has discussed yesterday, the ideas about the problems faced by minorities in this society in the 21st century. And I think with that introduction, we could perhaps start this session. And I would like to invite Dr. Najib first for your presentation. Yeah.